Hi, welcome to the channel Budget Audio Review and Upgrades. Today I'll be reviewing this Wharfedale Glendale XP2 speaker. So what we're going to do is have a little look inside, so let's show you a few slides. Okay, let's have a look inside this Wharfedale Glendale XP2 speaker. So first of all, let's have a flick it on the back, and as you can see there, the normal impedance is 6 ohms, frequency response is 50 Hz to 20 kHz plus or minus 3 dB. Power handling is 40 watts, sensitivity 86 dB, which is not very sensitive, but it's okay, just got to turn the volume up a little bit more. Crossover points 1.3 and 4.5 kHz, and the crossover rates is 6 dB and 12 dB per octave, and this was made in England by Rank Hifi, Bradford, West Yorkshire. So there it is on my table there. And the first thing I'm going to do is take the front cover off, and then we take the front cover off. As you can see, they've actually gone to the trouble of making 2 holes in the front rather than one great big oblong hole. If we look at the front now, and this is like where these Glendales, these Lintons, etc. speakers, when this was manufactured, then was quite striking and quite easy recognisable with the white mid-range and the blue kind of like little surround on the tweeter, and that kind of silver finish to the actual like casing etc. of the actual drivers itself. So there's the main driver, and when you take it out, it's got quite a nice feel to it, quite tactile. It's fairly weighty, and it does look nice. It's quite nice and shiny. And there's the back, and it even keeps the shine in the back and everything. Everything's quite nice. And there's that great big magnet, square magnet there. It looks like it's pitting a bit, rusting a bit, so to speak, a little bit there. And this is the mid-range, and I've held it at this angle, the mid-range, and you can kind of see the light. It's kind of like got a transparent, semi-transparent cone to it, this speaker. So that's me holding it up to the light, and it's not the shadow from the actual casing, it's actually the light shining through. That's that dark and kind of lighter look about it. And that's where it's come from. It's come from that little chamber. That chamber goes from top to bottom, kind of like a hardball kind of cylinder chamber. A little look inside, you can see that's filled with the wire wall, which is also the same wire wall they use in the main cabinet itself. That's the tweeter out, and you can see there. And if we look at the back of the tweeter, and that's the back of the tweeter. And if we look inside, put them both back in, so to speak, and just have a look inside the cabinet just to see what it's like with the wall taken out. A little look at the crossover there. So we look closely at the crossover. We've got 4 chokes, 4 coils, whatever you want to call them. I think there's 4 capacitors and a couple of resistors there, which makes up the crossover on this speaker. And if we flick it back round to the back, this is the actual connections. 2 screw terminals for the positive and negative, plus that little kind of like 2 pinned in socket they used to use as well to connect up the speaker to your amplifier, etc. So that's inside the Glendale XP2 speaker. Okay, so that's inside the speaker. I'm going to put a little link at the top here, just to do a comparison here. Well, compared with 2 other speakers, a little sound test off the YouTube library, a track I played, and I'll compare them against each other. Hopefully that gives you some kind of indication how they sound against each other, and maybe give you an idea how this one actually sounds. Obviously YouTube compression, your speakers and my recording equipment got to be all taken into account, but hopefully it gives you some kind of idea. Okay. So how did I think this actually sounded? Well, I have them in the usual position there. I've got everything marked out, a bit of tape measure out. I put this table in a certain position with the amplifiers on. I put the 2 stands either side, and that's how I do all my kind of like testing now. So I've got everything exactly the same. So I've got a good idea. Same amplifiers and receivers I use. Don't forget, these are, if you come into the channel, these amplifiers and receivers are quite old. These are 40, 45-year-old amplifiers, Sansui, Pioneer, Marantz, etc. So just bear that in mind. This is nothing new. I'm comparing this on at all. The first thing you notice about this is it's quite a sweet sounding speaker. It sounds quite sweet. It's got a little bit of coloration to the bottom end. I think it's a little bit like bass coloration to it a little bit. But other than that, it sounds quite nice. The bass can be a bit boomy. It can be a bit thuddy. It can be a little bit dull as well at places. It's a bit one-noted as well. So it sounds like that ain't got a lot going for it. But all in all, it just sounds okay. It sounds quite nice. You know what I mean? It does sound quite nice, even with all them kind of things thrown in. It's not the most revealing, that's for certain. Yeah, so it's not there. It could be doing a bit more open as well. But this is probably the old speaker I'm talking about as well now. Through the old ranges of frequencies. But it just sounds nice. You know what I mean? It just sounds okay. It's just a speaker. Like if you're not going to get too fussy, you're not going to start picking at things. Well, this should sound a bit more forward than what it is, and I can't really hear that. I'm sure that instrument's in there somewhere, and you just about hear it, kind of thing. If you're not worried about all that, it's quite a nice. It's a pleasant sounding speaker. It really is. I'm quite surprised. I'm kind of going to tell you about a speaker that's maybe missing a few things, not giving you the full picture, so to speak. But and not, like I say, going back to this word revealing, not that, you know, a little bit not revealing kind of thing, lacking in the revealing instruments and things and whatever. It still sounds quite nice, you know what I mean? If you just want to put a track on, listen to it and relax and that and forget about it, and you're going to have the beat and it's going to sound quite nice. This fits the job, really. I'm really surprised, you know what I mean? It's one of these things that's kind of caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to say a speaker would, like I say, not that revealing. It could do a bit more open, could sound a bit more clearer. It still sounds good, you know. It still sounds quite nice. It's a weird one, this one. It really is. Mid-range, it's a little bit lacking, just a little bit, just a tad, but it sounds quite nice. It's smooth. I mean, this speaker seems to smooth everything off. It smooths it all off. So you know, takes all the rough edges and maybe smooths them down too much, if you know what I mean. So there's no rawness, edginess to it at all, really. Like, it just smooths everything off. It could be smoothing them off a bit too much, maybe. But the mid-range instruments, vocals, and that sounded fine. Never got harsh, you know, never shouted at you or anything like that. It sounded quite nice. Top end was quite, you know, it sounded nice. It's quite revealing, the top end, you know. Out of the three, it's probably the most revealing out of the three kind of, you know, three ranges here. It's probably the more revealing. Sounded quite nice. Had plenty of top end, you know. I mean, the top end was there, no problem at all with that. And it sounded, you know, all in all, it sounded quite nice. Like I say, a little bit coloration towards the bottom end kind of thing. But overall, the top end sounded sweet. I'll tell you one thing I did notice is that, you know, going back to this bass bit and the drums and that, where you got an acoustic kit, it could sometimes just sound like that. Maybe that was an electronic kit, you know what I mean? Just makes it sound a little bit electronic. It's a weird one, but it's just the way I felt it sounded. You could quite easily get mixed, you know, could quite easily get taken to that acoustic kit was actually electronic kit, you know what I mean? It kind of like made it sound a bit like that, if you know what I mean. But all in all, it's not a bad speaker if you're not too worried, if you're not too fussy, you know what I mean. You're not going to start picking at things, and you just want to sit back and relax. I thought it'd give quite a nice, it gives a sweet sound. It's a sweet sounding speaker, like I say, maybe not the most revealing speaker, not the most detailed speaker, maybe just lacking a few bits and pieces in there. But if you're not worried too much about that, and just, you know, these are £50–60 a pair, something like that, and obviously cheaper if you're going to go and pick a pair up, probably £30 or £40, something like that, and you're not too worried and just want to sit back, relax and enjoy it, these are fine. These sound all right, you know what I mean? These really do, you know. I'm a bit shocked I'm saying it, to be honest with you. Like, I'm picking faults in it, but still like it. It's a weird one, but there you go. That's what it is. Okay, so hopefully that's helped you out. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know, but hopefully that's helped you out if you're looking for a pair of these. Until the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.